13 new maps, 3 new factions, brand new game modes, a ton of new guns. XDefiant has just dropped the biggest content update we've ever seen for a shooter, and it is all absolutely free. The catch, well, you have 6 months to enjoy it, and then it's gone forever. I'm Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. It's no mystery that 2024 has not been a great year for Ubisoft. In fact, basically every game of theirs has been an abject disaster. The flop that was Skull and Bones was openly mocked for its quadruple A label. Star Wars Outlaws sold way below expectations. The dev team behind the actually very good Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown got disbanded. Assassin's Creed Shadows slinked away to a 2025 release. And then finally, of course, you have XDefiant. Now, there was some logic to Ubisoft making this game. You had Call of Duty vet Mark Rubin at the helm. Ubisoft's other shooter, Rainbow Six Siege, had forged a dedicated player base, and it all promised to be a very polished, free-to-play alternative to Call of Duty. But being a decent game isn't enough anymore. Black Ops 6 came to Game Pass on release, which definitely hurt one of the main selling points for XDefiant, and it's not like that was its only competition. They also had Apex and Fortnite, Valorant, and CS2 to contend with. And that's without mentioning the other new kids on the block, like Concord. In fact, I bet everyone at Ubisoft is so freaking relieved about that downright disaster because, in comparison, man, XDefiant doesn't actually look that bad. Of course, in reality, it just never hit the player numbers needed to sustain the resource-hungry live service model. And earlier this month, they announced that the game would be shutting down for good. Servers would remain active for the next 6 months, but new players could no longer download or register for the game. Refunds would be issued for those who bought the Ultimate Founders Pack, as well as any purchases made in-game since November. This, of course, meant that the current in-game purchases were also disabled. For the small player base that the game had found, this was devastating news, but I think everyone also reacted with a large degree of, yeah, I saw that coming. But what people didn't see coming was that XDefiant was about to go down with one of the most glorious swan songs in the history of gaming. Mark Rubin goes on to explain in an absolute novel of a Twitter post, but essentially he says that Ubisoft is taking this as an opportunity to celebrate the amazing work of everyone behind the game. Not only has the Season 3 content dropped, but they've just dumped literally everything that they had that was in a playable state. That means they've added content from like Season 8, which we wouldn't have seen until way into next year. In total, 13 maps have been added to the game, which is an absolute ton. Seriously, that's more maps than Concord launched with. Plus, they look sick. People are saying these are some of the best maps in the entire game. Now, for those unfamiliar with XDefiant, the whole thing was meant to be this multiverse hub of all the Ubisoft IPs, and that includes Rayman. Now, you can't play as Rayman, which I personally hate just as much as Rayman hates sleeves, but they have added a rather delightful Rayman map called Enchanted Forest. In fact, it even comes with its own little game mode called Loom Hunt. Now, admittedly, at first, it's a little jarring seeing a bunch of people with realistic guns running around a cartoony forest, but also the aesthetic of military shooters is so damn stale that it's actually very refreshing seeing something different. To be honest, all of the maps look super interesting and varied. Again, for anyone new to XDefiant, you play as characters from their various franchises who then grant you access to unique abilities. Season 3 was always set to drop with the much-loved Assassins, but they've also dropped access to the Wolves, which are from the Ghost Recon series, and Blood Dragon, who were originally from Far Cry. Of course, you've got some new guns too, and you can see that not all of these were actually fully ready, as some don't have the right icons or no icon at all. And finally, there's the absolute boatload of skins. Now, not only are there new ones, but all of those cosmetics that were locked behind all those long challenges, well, they're all unlocked too. So all of that content I mentioned is free, transforming XDefiant into this dream FPS playground. The game is easily in the best state it's ever been in, and people are having a blast, which, of course, is leaving a rather bittersweet taste in everyone's mouth. Some people are holding out hope that this causes a resurgence in the game, and maybe, just maybe, it can cling on to life, but when you think about it, that's just never going to happen. New people are unable to sign up and check out all this cool stuff, and even if they did, this is basically all the content that they had in the works. Sure, it's fun now, but the interest is doomed to drop off thanks to any new content now being non-existent. Ultimately, the loss of XDefiant is sad. I know it's easy to point and laugh at Ubisoft, but it's pretty obvious that there's a lot of love and passion for the game, both from its players and those who made it. A team of talented people who poured their love and energy into something that was always fighting an uphill battle. The fruits of that are obvious in this final blaze of glory. In fact, the music you're hearing right now is the new main menu theme, which has this beautiful, somber feel, the perfect send-off to something that could have been. Of course, lessons need to be learned here, and while there is a big question mark if Ubisoft knows how to launch a game anymore, if this can be considered a silver lining, well, at least they know how to end them. Because while a lot of fans are going to hate saying goodbye to XDefiant, at least they're going to have the time of their lives while doing so. We also put a lot of love into these videos, and as a small channel, your support means the world. If you enjoyed this one, please do give us a like and subscribe. Merry Christmas, and thanks for watching.